Canada just sent a message to Donald Trump that he cannot ignore. This country will not be bullied, and the way Prime Minister Mark Carney delivered it, with the calm confidence of a leader and the fighting spirit of a people who know exactly who they are. At the Toronto International Film Festival, Carney wasn't just there to smile for the cameras. He used that stage to tell the world, and yes, Donald Trump directly, that Canadians are done playing nice with a neighbor who has turned hostile. He reminded the crowd that Canada's strength has always been resilience. When pushed, Canadians don't back down, they push back harder.
Our current times make them all the more precious. We're in a more dangerous, divided, and intolerant world. In Canada, our sovereignty, our identity has come under threat. And when Canadians heard those threats, they channeled their inner John Candy, stood up, elbows up, wrote our own lines. Cela nous rappelle que nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We have our own plans. I'm almost done, don't worry. I'm almost done because I didn't move the watch. As Uncle Buck said, I spent a lot of time on this speech. As Uncle Buck said, I don't think I want to know a 6-year-old who isn't a dreamer. Okay? Shimon Peres, I don't think he saw Uncle Buck, but he expanded on this. And he said, and I quote, "A young person is someone whose dreams are bigger than their accomplishments." Okay. Canada is a story whose best chapters are yet to be written. Not least because we're a country that welcomes the world's storytellers, celebrates their stories, and grows with them. So TIFF at 50 is just starting out. Thank you for the honor of helping to open this.
And the audience loved it. A leader speaking with humor, humanity, and backbone. Something we in the US have forgotten exists because Trump's America has been drowning in division and fear. But Carney didn't stop at symbolism. In Ontario, the very next day, he laid out a bold economic vision. Canada will no longer hitch its future to the chaos of Trump's America.
The world is changing rapidly. The largest economy, the United States, is fundamentally reshaping all of its trading relationships. And we're moving from an age that lasted decades, an age when free trade was a motor of global economic growth, to a new age, an age of economic nationalism and mercantilism. You know, the U.S. tariff rate is now the highest it has been since the Great Depression in the 1930s. And these tariffs are being applied to all countries on nearly all goods. And the changes in U.S. policy go beyond tariffs. Countries now must, in effect, buy access to the world's largest economy through investments, through unilateral trade liberalization, and policy changes in their home markets. And all the while, the transformation of global trade is occurring against a backdrop of wider economic disruptions, of geopolitical realignment, of AI and other technological transformations, and the necessity, the imperative of a shift to a greener economy. What's going on is not a transition. It's a rupture, and its effect will be profound. Workers displaced from their jobs. Supply chains that have existed for decades disrupted. Companies forced to change where they find their materials and their products. And all of this is causing an extreme uncertainty that's holding back massive amounts of investment and, as a consequence, slowing economic growth. Just this morning, we see the impact in today's employment report in Canada, with unemployment rising across regions and sectors. This makes decisive action crucial. To be clear, we're in a position right now where Canada currently has the best trading deal with the United States of any of their trading partners. 85% of our trade with the US is now tariff-free. We have the lowest tariff rate of any country in the world. But we also know that given all those changes, given the rupture, we can't rely on our most important trading partner as we once did. Given that we can't control what other nations do, Canada's government is focused on what we can control. And that means building our strength at home, building Canada strong. That means giving our workers and our companies the tools they need, retraining our workers, transforming our strategic sectors, creating entirely new industries, and being our own best customer by buying Canadian. And to these ends, our new government is embarking on an ambitious plan to secure a new era of prosperity out of this age of adversity. Our new industrial strategy will help transform our economy from being overly reliant on the United States to one that is more resilient to global shocks. A new economy that's built on the solid foundation of Canadian industries, Canadian workers, and it's bolstered by diverse international trading partners. To drive this transformation, we've just launched the Major Projects Office. Its job is to fast-track major nation-building projects.
He spelled it out. America under Trump is a country retreating into tariffs, economic nationalism, and erratic deals that leave allies hanging. Canada's answer? Build new partnerships across the globe, invest in Canadian industries, put Canadian workers first. That was a clear message. Canada is moving on. And while Carney leads at the top, resistance is building from the ground up. And when it comes to foreign policy, the difference couldn't be clearer. Asked about Ukraine, Carney was blunt. Putin started this war, and Canada will not let him dictate peace. Military support, sanctions, and security guarantees, Canada is all in.
You and your office announced yesterday a willingness to support Ukraine with scalable assistance, military assistance to support a lasting peace in the country. But now we've heard the Russian president reject such security assurances. He says that any foreign troops in Ukraine would be a legitimate target. Does that change at all your stance that was announced yesterday?
Look, President Putin is the cause of this war. He has not yet come to terms with the need for peace. We need to maintain, through the coalition of the willing, other allies, the Ukrainian armed forces need to maintain maximum pressure. That pressure has several aspects. First, obviously the Ukrainian forces themselves and ensuring that they are appropriately armed in their valiant fight, and Canada has just reinforced that, as have other allies. Secondly, that pressure is economic. Sanctions. We have put in place sanctions on more than 3,000 individuals, tightening the oil price cap and other sanctions. The next wave of sanctions is being prepared amongst allies, and it will come, and these are having an effect on Russia's economy, and we need to keep there. The third aspect is to make clear that Ukraine will be supported when peace comes, when there is a cessation of hostility. First and foremost, that's the Ukrainian army, but yes, it will need to be backed up by robust and credible security guarantees. That's why Canada is in the coalition of the willing, and through part of that. Mr. Putin is the cause of this war. He's the reason for the killing. He is not going to dictate the terms of the peace.
That is leadership. Standing shoulder to shoulder with allies, defending democracy. Compare that to Trump, who praises Putin, undermines NATO, and treats Ukraine like a bargaining chip.